Oi, oi, oi. Okay. Let's start. Hi, welcome to Tea and Talking. My name is Amy.
My name is Kelly.
And today we're going to be talking about what we did, like the whole COVID impact and how it impacted us personally. Yeah, we figured that we would kind of go on a serious note here because the last few videos were a lot of fun, which is great. But we also want to kick it back a little bit and start talking about a little bit more serious things. And now that everyone's kind of winding down, or hopefully winding down with COVID, we can open up about this. But yeah, I was going to say, first and foremost, today we're going to have jasmine green tea. It's actually our own blend from Golden Life Tea. And it's, if you look at this, I don't know if the camera can get this, but it's a beautiful color. Let me see. I know you're not supposed to shake it up, but I just want to show you guys how beautiful this tea is.
You're actually supposed to agitate the tea a little bit.
Oh, really? Oh, so then that's perfect.
Use code Amy20 for 20% off your first order. If you want to get makeup, skincare, or makeup or skincare, use Amy20 at hyperrealpro.com. Amy's an influencer now. Check out her video. I'm going to link it up here. I don't even care. I'm like shamelessly plugging it.
She's trying to make me an influencer.
You already are an influencer. You already have 2 codes. It's already happened.
I was like, I don't know how that...
But yeah, we wanted to make this video because our last videos were so fire. It was so funny, but like kind of stupid at the same time. And we just didn't want everyone to think like, oh, these girls are just a bunch of funny idiots.
Which we are funny
we
idiots.
Are funny. We are funny idiots.
But at the same time, we figure we talk about this. So, Kelly, what was our first question? Oh, actually, disclaimer real quick. We figured that we would want to have real raw content with this. So we actually just literally thought of this topic right on the spot, probably about like 20 minutes before we made this video, I think. So we wanted some authenticity with this video.
Yeah, I was thinking about the whole COVID thing, and this whole concept was just like a shower thought.
Yeah, it really was, yeah. So, Kelly, what's our first question?
Where were we when COVID-19 happened, and what were our initial reactions?
Okay, how about you go first on this one? Because once again, it's raw, so I'm trying to think of where I was at this point.
Where was I? When I found out about COVID-19, it was right in the middle of, it was right before Fashion Week, and I was working a lot in the city. I was also like just freshly out, well, not really freshly, but like I've been out of a very long-term relationship. So I was meeting new people, and it was all good. It was all Gucci because there was no worldwide pandemic. Okay, so you can meet whoever you wanted in the city, and it was all good. You can have dinner, you can do whatever you want. You had all of that freedom, and I was feeling free. I was so happy because I was over that like initial grief, and I was just like, yo, my life is so much better. I don't even care.
I don't know why, but just now in that period of time, I'm like, oh, so you're the swan. No, she's the ugly duckling.
I still am. But yeah. So during that time, I was just like, I was dating, I was like texting a lot of different dudes, and it was like whatever. But as soon as COVID hit and as soon as the lockdown was done, I felt really not ready. It almost was like all of that freedom that I just had, and not just with the relationship, but just like that was a small portion of my life. The big portion of my life was that I was doing more makeup jobs, and I was really getting into what I think is my passion, making art, being creative. And I was finally at a place in my life where I could do that. And I thought I had all of that freedom, and it was clipped during COVID. And I know that's not everyone's experience. And I know my experience is nothing compared to what some people went through. Some of my friends actually did get COVID, and, I don't want to diminish that. But as soon as the lockdown happened, I felt like so lost, so incredibly lost.
I'm the opposite experience, yeah.
Go ahead.
Like, I don't know, I actually felt clearer in a different sense, but that's personally. So I was actually working for the government for about 2 years almost. And so I switched over, and I was applying to become a police officer. And to be open right now, I was kind of hesitant on being a police officer for numerous reasons, but the reason why I thought about go ahead and giving that opportunity a chance is because originally I wanted to work against human trafficking. I don't know if you guys know this, but I went into college to study human trafficking, and that's what I wanted to do in the future. And I'm still somewhat a little bit active, although not because of COVID. Prior to COVID, I was active, but not so much anymore. And so I wanted to work in this FBI position. It was an FBI analyst. And I heard through conversations with other FBI recruiters that they work against human trafficking, so that's what I wanted to do. Well, the FBI will change their requirements when you apply for them several times, and they open up every maybe every year or 2 years, 3 years. I don't know. It just differs. Like they just open up once a year.
Mhm.
And so it's really, really competitive and very difficult to get in. And I had actually almost went through the entire process, through the hiring process, and I was working with an FBI recruiter, and I was pretty much set to go to get hired. Unfortunately, though, something happened with my application, and it got thrown away. It was a really messed up ordeal, and the FBI recruiter even was like, "Oh my goodness, this was like a fluke. It shouldn't have happened in the first place," but it did, unfortunately. So I waited and waited a couple more years, because I think I first applied in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And because my application, the computer system got thrown down, I applied again. Well, when the FBI opened it up again, it turns out that you needed a law enforcement background. I'll be upfront. I never really wanted to work in the field. The FBI position I applied for was pretty much a desk job. You still have to go through your FBI training, all of the academy stuff. But I never wanted to work in the field. I feel very uncomfortable doing that. It's kind of hard for me to deal with confrontation at times. So when I applied for this police department, I was upfront and I told them, and they said, "No, we'll work through it and you'll be okay and you'll learn through the academy." So when COVID happened, I had just gotten into the academy and I was doing well. But even when I was in academy, I was surprised, actually. I thought for sure I was going to cry and have a meltdown and all these things. I was like, man, I'm probably going to fail the first day. Well, surprisingly, I lasted, a couple days, but then a couple days in, I was like, this is not, I don't want to do this. I'm too afraid to be a police officer. And I know that it wasn't a good fit for me, and I wasn't a good fit for them. I can't imagine me being a police officer for somebody else if I was unsure. So I was up front, and I told the police department that this isn't what I wanted to do. And that was literally in March when COVID was first happening in our area in New Jersey. It started hitting fast. So at that time, I was jobless, and it just so happened that COVID hit, and we're like, wow, what are the chances? Oh, and also, what are the chances? I find out that my sister and my sister-in-law got pregnant back in February.
Oh, a lot of people got pregnant.
Yeah, so
I
was like, oh my goodness, what are the chances? And so, I don't know, I guess God worked his way. It just, everything worked out because my sister needed help taking care of the kids. My niece, Aviana. And it just so happened that I was jobless and I was there to help out. So for me, I was like, oh wow, this is no brainer. Let me just go through this, ride this out a little bit, see it where COVID takes us. And in the meantime, I'll help my family out with what we needed.
And you really kind of hunkered down and you were there for your family and it brought you closer, right?
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I was, like I said, I was there with my family now. So it was kind of a twofold. One side of me was sad and depressed that I didn't go through the academy or finish, because I knew I could finish. I knew I could. But at the same time, it was kind of sad knowing that I changed my view of where I wanted to be. So I kind of let that side go. So there's one side of me that was sad about it, but another part of me was a huge relief, because I was like, wow, you know what? Now I won't have to put my life on the line for these situations. And honestly, kudos to law enforcement officers right now. You can say what you want about law enforcement. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you officers and fire department and military, they're out there risking their lives every day. And however you feel, I get it. I once again, you're risking yourself. And so kudos to them, definitely, because that's a hardship and that's a reality that you have to realize when you're actually putting yourself in their shoes. So that was crazy. But then, like I said, the other half was really happy and excited because I got to be there for my family. So that was my start of COVID.
Oh my God, I can't imagine how Melinda must have felt, because if you were pregnant and then you found out COVID happened and you don't know how long it's going to go on for. Even now, people are super scared still. But,
it was. That was the other big thing, is that I've heard that a lot of other people had to deal with the fact that they no longer had to work or they had to stay at home. Well, it just so happened that all of my family members were essential employees.
Oh,
So
man. Yeah,
they
yeah.
all had to continuously work. So my dad's a mechanical engineer. He had to go to work. Like, he has to. And then same thing with my mother. She's works in a warehouse.
Mhm.
She had to go to work because
Mhm.
people need their shipments. My sister worked at like a storage company. People need access to their stuff.
Yes.
And then my sister's husband, like my brother-in-law, he's one of the managers at a grocery store. So yeah, like that was essential. So that's why there was no one there to take care of my niece. So that's why I'm saying, like, God worked his way with us, because as soon as I'm jobless, sad as it is, as soon as I'm jobless, my family just so happened to need someone, and I just so happened to be there. What are the chances?
That's
It worked
really
out.
great.
Yep. So anyways, now that we're going through that, our second question is, what was the norm once everything was settled in?
So the norm after everything got settled, it's kind of different because, it's not so divided now. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that it's a lot more divided now than it was back when everybody was kind of like the same level of concerned. And the new normal back then, as soon as COVID hit, people were hunkering down, and I think people were really concerned and they were there for one another. People were I think they were more forgiving and they were more patient than I would have given them credit for sure. And people really were considerate. People that could stay home, they did stay home, and the people that couldn't, they did whatever they could to make sure that they came back home safe and clean.
Yes.
Wash their hands.
Yeah.
One could argue you should probably
point.
always wash your hands.
Yeah, I know. Now, I was actually going to mention, so like I said, we live in Jersey, and we were one of the first states that completely shut down. I mean, like, Puerto Rico was probably the very first. Like, they had a real harsh shutdown, but we were the next one.
Oh, funny. We had a flight to Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
Yes.
It canceled our vacation. I know this sounds like so horrible, but it's actually pretty devastating having your vacation canceled.
Yeah.
Just like on that week, we found out we were like, we had our flight for that week, and not gonna lie, 2 days before the flight, we found out the whole country shut down. The whole like Puerto Rico shut down.
Yeah. It was really crazy. Like, I think, cause I had left the academy, and then it was like probably like 2 to 3 weeks later, cause my parents already had vacation time then, and they already had plans to go to Puerto Rico. But I
was supposed to be there.
Yeah, and like, mind you, this was before the state closed down everything. Before my sister needed my help. We're like, oh, like, Kelly and I will just tag along with them to Puerto Rico.
It was vacation mode.
Yeah,
it was pina colada mode.
Yeah, so might as well. And like, yeah, that was crazy. So we had plans to go over there, and then the same weekend that we were supposed to fly out, Puerto Rico closed down, and the airports, everything shut down.
And I know that people say some things. People have some choice words to say about the people that are struggling with mental health. The people that on the outside, they look privileged. They're like, oh, we're supposed to be traveling, but now we can't travel. And then sometimes people would look at them and be like, how dare you? How dare you call this a struggle? But in reality, and I'm not just speaking for us, but the people that were supposed to be on vacation, it does mean something. You don't have many vacation days in a year when you're working a conventional job, and this was supposed to be your reward. Everything that you worked up to was supposed to be to reward yourself. That's
how my mom felt.
And to just
yes, my mom works very, very hard. Like, so does my dad, but my mom, because she works at a warehouse, she does a lot of overtime. Like, there are sometimes, like, she'll leave at like 9, 10 in the morning. She won't get back, I'm not even kidding, until like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Like, that's how much overtime she does. So for her, she worked her butt off. And then, like, when the trip got canceled, I remember, like, she was real upset about that.
And it's not just like the vapid influencers not vapid, I'm sorry, like what seemingly is like these like vapid personalities just taking trips left and right, and one of them gets canceled, so what? But you also have to understand that there are a lot of people that work day in and day out, and this was their only reward, and it just got ripped out of their hands by a very, very scary and unknown entity. And during that time, it was a hard time getting our flights refunded. And for a lot of people, they had to fight tooth and nail to just get their money back from these companies.
Oh, yeah. trying to get their money back
Oh God.
from airlines. Yeah. Still didn't finish that up until like, what, August?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say what airline. You
All of them
know.
stink. I mean, all of them stink in their own way because you hear something about each one. So it's kind of like, who are you going to boycott? Like, what are you going to have left?
Mm-hmm. I will crap
Everyone's
on
equally
one.
bad.
I will crap on one publicly, but that's another video. Yeah,
I know
I'm
which one.
I'm not afraid to talk about that one. I'm sure Kelly already knows. I'm not afraid to talk about that
It's
one.
not slander if it's the truth, yo. It's not
Mhm.
slander if it's the truth. So I guess our new normal, back then, our new normal was just hunker down, be strong,
Yeah.
hold your family tight. Some people lost their loved ones and just get through all of this grief, this agony together as like one unit. And I remember that was so scary. And
Yeah, it was.
nobody knew anything about this disease, whether or not it could cause you to just like drop dead or if it could just like cause you permanent damage, which it did for some people. It did cause permanent damage, but nobody knew like what was actually going on. And to this day, we don't really know, like the information becomes more and more diluted and now we don't even know where we stand anymore. That's why everyone is so polarized on this topic. But yeah, Amy, what was the normal for you?
I mean, it was the same thing for us. Like, I admit, it's different now how I feel, but back
Mhm.
then, it definitely was scary. Especially in New Jersey, we were hearing, because we were the epicenter.
Oh yeah, we were right next to New York. Oh, no wonder.
Yeah, we were right here, especially where we live in Jersey.
Oh.
I'm not gonna tell you where, y'all, but we live very close to the city, and so for us, it was a really scary time, especially for the fact that both of our parents have their own medical issues. So if we got it and they got it, it was a scary time. And then at that time, it was, I think in April, we had found out that one of our church members passed away from COVID. Or I mean, well, now we found out later, but I'm not going to go through that. Anyways. So it was a COVID-related death, let's just say that. Anyways.
Mhm.
And then we found out like distant friends of ours where their parents had gotten it, and then one of our distant friends, actually, their father passed away. So yeah, it was a very scary time for us, not knowing, and I'm pretty sure it was the same for everyone watching right now.
Mhm.
It was a scary time.
One of my good friends, his whole family got it, and he ended up losing his dad to this, and I'm always gonna think about that because it just makes it like, I know that when somebody says that, I mean, when it's reported that somebody died, it's very hard to hear, but it just is different when it's somebody that you actually know, and this is so much more real. It's 100 times more real. And also one of my very, very close friends, one of my best friends got it. Oh, and she suffered. Yeah. And she was texting me, telling me, yo, I can't breathe. I don't know, she was kind of nonchalant about it, actually, in hindsight, but it was so scary. Just, like, reading that text message, knowing that I'm about to lose a sister, maybe? Oh.
Yeah, but she was all right.
I was lightheaded. In that moment, I was, like, lightheaded.
Yeah,
I was calling my
times.
mom, and then her mom was crying. My mom was freaking out. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a scary time for a lot of people. But for us, I mean, personally now I feel differently, but anyways,
we're very lucky. We're very
Yeah.
lucky. We have so many resources now. I think we've done what we could to protect ourselves and our families.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but in our household, I was the one, because I'm technically the healthiest in the family, or at least in my family. Maybe actually, no, my boyfriend's probably healthier than me. I can't even say that, because even though he's a track runner, he eats hot Cheetos and junk food and all the, like,
we get called out.
Yeah, I am calling him out. But anyways, but yeah, I could say like both of us are the healthiest ones. So we took turns going to the grocery store. Like, my parents never went. It was just us two. And then whenever we came home, like, I don't think that would have helped anyways, but we would shower immediately and wash our clothes as if to sanitize. But I don't know if that even worked. But that's what we did.
Yeah. You can dry your clothes in the sunlight, and the UV kills bacteria as well. That's what we did, actually.
Oh yeah, no, I straightened in. I just wash dry. That's it.
I didn't want to ruin my clothes. I'm sorry. I didn't put my things through a washer. I just left them out to dry in the sun, and I thought this is fine. Oh, my mom and dad, they were both surgeons. So they were both really, really meticulous about the cleanliness. They weren't scared to go out because they knew what they had to do with the gloves thing, with disinfecting and face coverings. They were good. They weren't scared, but like they also weren't sure. They weren't like entirely sure what the virus was. So I guess they were kind of scared too.
I don't know. But
we had this group. We had this WeChat group. A bunch of Chinese people. They drive around and they deliver groceries. It's like Uber, but it's also not like through the app, so it's cheaper. It's like a community. It's like a group WeChat. So yeah.
You know what?
That's how we got our groceries.
You guys get your own stuff. So lucky. I don't know how. It's like when you go to a Chinese restaurant and they have a secret menu. You can just ask for whatever, and they know what to make. And I'm like, well, I don't speak Mandarin, but I want to try something new and not American. Get me something.
Yeah.
You can actually if I say that, then like they might look at me like, oh, like what is she saying?
You can just tell the waiter to ask the chef to make you some real food, and then he'll do that. It doesn't have to be Mandarin. Just tell him, give me the real thing, and then they'll give you.
I hope so. But then,
I promise.
Then again,
do this at your next Chinese restaurant.
And again, it's not like I want to try cow tongue either.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've never actually had cow tongue. You know what's really good? Those tofu skins. Tofu skin, dry tofu.
I'm just gonna blame this
salad.
on you. I'm just gonna blame this on you, but the fact that we trail off really badly.
Oh yeah, it's my fault. No, it's my fault. Amy, so where do you think we are now with the whole situation? Because we were getting into this a little bit, but yeah, that was our old normal. Where are we now?
Right now, currently, okay. So, right now, truth be told, I'm just gonna say it on video. I really don't care to wear a mask. I don't. Kelly, I know we've had so many disagreements because she really wants me to wear a mask and go out and do all these things. I don't care to wear a mask. I feel like every day we are on this planet, we can die at any point, and I understand taking risks for other people, which is why I do take precautions by cleaning and taking care of myself hygiene-wise. And if I know I'm feeling sick, I'm gonna keep my butt home. Like that's the least I could do. But if I'm not feeling sick or I'm okay, then I don't want to go out and wear a mask. I will do it, like I will, because in New Jersey, in order to do anything, you need to wear a mask because Governor Murphy. But anyways, that's besides the point. And as of right now, I don't know when this video is going to be airing, but I'm actually supposed to go on a trip to Disney. And it's actually because of the whole Puerto Rico thing. So going back, when we were supposed to go on our trip to Puerto Rico, my mother had to use her vacation days, and her days do not roll over. And we needed to go this year, and we didn't know where to go because, my parents obviously were still concerned about COVID, and they're like, well, where, like, it's not
sorry, Amy. The company wouldn't let it roll over even in the case of a pandemic?
Yeah, they would not let the vacation days roll over. Yeah, it's just... stunk. I
hate this.
I understand it though.
Really
I'm not gonna crap on the company for doing that because I get it, but at the same time, it did kind of stink because where are you gonna go right now? It's like what you're gonna take on your vacation days after all of that hard work. Especially, I already told you my mom does a lot of overtime.
Your reward, all of your overtime,
and then just to stay home.
Oh
so we're trying to figure out what to do, and we're like, maybe we should drive, or like, and then we were worried about like the hotels. And so we were just worried about a whole lot of things. And then finally, I believe it was my dad who was like, you know what? I've never been to Disney. Let's just see. So we looked at videos of what Disney was doing, and it turns out that Disney was doing a phenomenal job. I mean, like they were washing the machines, they were distancing, like actually taping the lines and social distancing. And if people weren't listening, they would actually get kicked out of the park. So they're pretty serious about it. And so we're like, you know what, let's do it. The worst thing, honestly, the scary part would probably just be the airplane ride. So hopefully that'll be okay. And hopefully the next time you see us, I'll be COVID free and nothing's wrong. You won't see me then. Kelly will sadly be by herself in the video.
No, I'm gonna read a speech about you.
My eulogy.
No.
No, but we figured let's be smart about it. Like right now, our family is treating it like any other disease. Like, just be smart be clean. Don't be excessive over the hand sanitizer, because technically you're not supposed to. You need the good bacteria on you. But you get what I mean. Just take the extra precautions and what you need to do, and just be cognizant of what is going on and being aware of your surroundings. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to play it smart, and we're going to try and be careful with it. And then hopefully everything will be okay.
So in terms of where I am now, we did have a bit of a disagreement, because for me, I think that the government mandate is pretty important, because we can't just have this rulelessness about it, because it is a pandemic, and the difference between this and the common colds and the flu, which people like to compare. The only thing I want to say about this is that it's different because we have no vaccine. So yeah, I totally get it. But at the same time, I think that being too cautious is infinitely better than, being not cautious enough. And I think that just like a speed limit, some people are going to break it. Some people are going to be douchebags. And at the end of the day, we do what we can, but we still need to have rules. If we don't have rules, it's going to be crazy. And I really don't want to see any people die that could have been protected. And at the end of the day, the masks, they're not going to kill you the same way that being on a ventilator will kill you. I mean, having COVID, being uncomfortable in a ventilator and eventually dying from it, if you can prevent it, try your best to prevent it. Wear a mask, not for yourself, but for your family, for the people out there without as much safety and security as you do, with less of an immune system, people that are not as wealthy to just not work right now. I think that would be a good thing. But
that's so funny. We're talking about COVID and I just coughed.
Get out of the sight.
That is because I ate the pumpkin pie just now. I just finished eating it. And you guys can tell I was trying to I got stuff out of my mouth.
I'm gonna start drafting that essay for you. I'm gonna start drafting that essay that I'm gonna read.
Oh my goodness. I will tell you guys straight out though. Kelly and I have always played it safe. Even before COVID happened, if any of us were sick, we weren't dumb enough to go out in public. It's no, don't be an idiot. I've gotten when I was working for the government, I got sick twice, both with colds, and I still went to work, but I kept my distance. Literally, I had my own office.
Yep.
So, and you know what I mean? I had my own office, and I made it clear to everybody. I texted everybody, hey, this is what's going on, because it wasn't a cold that got me going where I needed to stay at home. It was kind of a few sniffles and the post nasal drip type thing.
It's one of those things that you just gotta power through. Be strong.
That's what I'm saying. I was able to power through it. It wasn't that bad. And I remember when I was sick during that time, I was actually washing. I actually disinfected the handles each time I touched it. So when I left, I was disinfecting. That's what I'm saying. Just play it smart. Don't be an idiot. And even then, when I got the colds, I remember keeping my window open so it wasn't stuffy in my office.
And just understand that we can be safe, but we cannot have that guarantee. For me, I know that by going out and meeting friends, that's a risk. And that's something that I'm making a decision on, because, going out on the rooftop, going to New York, actually, to see my boyfriend, that's a risk. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I know that I'm taking that for myself. I'm also living alone in an apartment, but at the same time, I'm also always with Amy, so I always keep her in mind.
She's not completely alone, so for all that, all the people that want to try and come after Kelly, don't worry. She's secured.
Wait, who's coming after me?
I don't know, I just wanted to let the public know that she's not alone.
Oh, yeah, no, I got...
Yeah, she's got safety.
I got safety. It's New Jersey, it's New Jersey. It's a Jersey thing, don't worry about it. So yeah, yeah, that's true. You probably shouldn't announce that, but yeah, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, Amy, me and you, whenever, knowing that I'm always coming back to you, my BFF, I always keep her in mind whenever I'm thinking about, how long should I wash my hands? I mean, I'm always washing my hands, but, I make sure to just, really get in there, just understand that I still need to meet people, and I still need to keep myself safe, and I'm doing this not only for me, but for everyone that I love, and I'm not gonna get sick, because I'm not letting any of these people get sick.
If I die, I die.
Amen.
No, but in all serious notes, all joking aside, no, like I definitely the way I see it is and it is true. Like, at the end of the day, we take risks every day, and so it's up to you to decide what risk you're willing to take. For me, if I could, I wouldn't wear my mask personally. I just like breathing in those things. And honestly, like I could get sick from whatever. And honestly, I have gotten sick. And I don't know if I actually explained this yet in a video.
You've been very sick.
But yeah, I was sick for 3 years with a really bad illness and in and out of the hospital constantly.
And that illness
happens.
That illness affects people differently too.
Yes, it does. You know, I'm just going to say it out. I had H. pylori, and there are some people out there that don't have any symptoms at all. And it turns out that I was one of the rare cases that got everything. Like, I got the worst of the worst. Like, in and out of the hospital constantly. It was not fun. And that was a really long 3 years of going through it. So, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, even back then, though, I was smart with illnesses. You know what I mean? Like, just like, I actually hardly ever got sick, which is why during those 3 years, I was like, what is going on with me? Because I'm a very healthy person. I never really got sick. I think prior to that, I just got colds in my entire life.
And now that you're over, you're like super healthy.
Yeah. Now that I got the H. pylori, like I'm fine. Like I said, since then, this was I think my last string of medication was fall of 2016.
Oh, thank God.
And since that time, I've only had 2 colds. That is it. And that's what
Pinnacle
I'm
of
saying.
health.
Like, yeah.
Eat your vegetables. Like Amy, eat your vegetables. Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes. And I know that I'm like, God gave me a gift. Like, I am so lucky, so blessed to have a healthy body. I know that others aren't like that, which is why I'm not going to be dumb and try and risk other people's illnesses for that aspect. I'm not. But at the same time, like I said, I don't want to live my life going through this fear of being afraid of everywhere I go and everything I do. No, like I will go out there and live my life, and if something happened, God be with me, but you know, we'll get through it. I mean, that's just the way I see it.
For me, I always get scared, not necessarily for me, but like the people I'm in contact with. I try my best even now to limit my contact because I don't know who's out there that might get sick. Like I don't think I'm sick. First of all, I get tested, and I wouldn't be able to just like, I mean, I want to keep my mask, not because I think I'm going to get like destroyed by COVID. I honestly don't think that COVID is going to really hurt me, but it's more so for like the random people on the street that might like shake my hand. I mean, I wouldn't shake their hand. Not that I'm unfriendly,
actually,
but
I don't remember, actually, now that I think about it, I don't even remember the last time I shook someone's hand. I think honestly it was probably in the police department. Yeah. That was like back in February.
Yeah. I think this is a thing now. Like,
what? Just Air 5?
Yeah.
Oh, Air 5, y'all.
Oh, and air hugs, like.
Oh, I saw this one post. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but I saw this one post where it's like, hey, like, make sure to cough into your elbow. Okay, elbow tap to say hi to each other. Like, hey, guys, just FYI, you just saw it here. And that's like, you shouldn't elbow tap because people are coughing into their elbows. You know? What is it like? Do like chest pops, like, boom, like, hey, bro. Or like shoulder. Actually, no, my shoulders hurt.
Or just be like me and pretend you didn't see them, so you don't have to say hi.
I don't know. What would you do? Like, like just take a tissue, like, hey, hi, yeah.
No, just pretend you didn't see them. That's what I normally do anyway. I'm just like,
I know this is the other funny situation because I've been to two family birthday things on my Spanish side of the family. Spanish side of the family, you always hug and kiss on the cheeks. This time around, I was like, hey, y'all. Don't touch me. I was like, I love you guys, but don't touch me.
Yeah. So I guess now all we're left with is this question. What is our new normal? What is the new normal in your case?
My new normal, I feel like I'm going to sound like a broken record because right now it's just playing it safe and honestly just be smart. I know that some people don't have common sense, which I'm so sorry. Like,
sucks to be you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. But
no, sucks to be anyone that's near you, though.
Yeah,
that's the new normal.
Yeah, actually.
Because back in the day, like back before COVID, you know what's interesting? Back before COVID, if you're an idiot, sucks to be you. Everyone's like, all right. But now it's like, sucks to be you, but also sucks to be anywhere.
Yeah, the people around, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
anywhere
because,
around
like,
you.
I'm sorry, I'm a really blunt person. Like, I'm gonna tell you straight out, like other people. But, like, during this situation, Kelly and I have heard, like, really dumb situations of people we know going out to these dumb parties or whatever. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like,
Getting COVID.
Yeah, this is not, you know what I mean? And on top of that, that's exactly what happened. These, idiots end up getting COVID. And I'm like, what do you expect? You go to a party and you think everything's gonna be roses and daisies when you come back? Like, no. Like, especially right now. Yeah. It was a dumb situation. And
yeah, they're honestly, like doing shots off of each other, like.
Yeah, like, and honestly, it's the same thing.
Entirely unsanitary. You would catch a number of things. You would get a cold. You would get the flu. Yeah. You would get COVID.
I mean, honestly, this is the other thing too, is that I don't share drinks with people. I think, Kelly, you're the only person that I ever, like, shared drinks with.
Really? I thought you shared drinks.
No.
Because we share drinks, so I'm like, oh, yeah, Amy shares drinks.
I'll share drinks with her, and honestly, I know that's technically not good because I don't know who she's sharing drinks with. But on the daily basis, I don't share drinks with anybody because I don't know where they've been. I don't know if, you know what I mean? This is before COVID, though. I never shared drinks with everybody. And I'm not surprised when I hear friends getting cold sores from other people, and it's like, what did you expect? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you need that common sense. Like, you can't be dumb and
so this kind of situation, no, like, just be smart.
It is.
Don't share a drink with people you don't know. For me, I share my drink with Amy because we share everything. I share my drink with April because we share everything. And I shared a hot pot with April, John, and Ray for his birthday. Like,
yeah,
full disclosure. So yeah. But that's the extent of it. I don't share drinks with, like, random people. I don't share drinks with acquaintances or even close friends.
Yeah, even then, like, I know I shouldn't share drinks with everybody, but like I said, like, Kelly's the only one that I share drinks with. But anyways, besides the whole sharing drink thing, it's at the same time just not putting yourself in situations where something could happen. Like, this is not how it is now, y'all, but back in the day, it was like, I think it was like mid-2000s, I don't know if this is true. Actually, I should have looked this up beforehand. But there was a certain college. I'm not going to say which one. There was a certain New Jersey college where apparently a lot of there was like a breakout of genital or herpes. I think it was, or like STDs.
They called it scarlet fever. Oh shoot.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I know. There we go.
Oh boy. Oh,
but anyways,
boy.
It's okay. So anyways, yeah, like, something broke out, like, it was a form of STDs, and it's like, even knowing that, people are still going around doing just that. And then also going off with that, I don't know if you guys know this, so like I said, I used to compete internationally, so I would go to World Cups and meet people from other countries, and sad to say, they would actually give us, like, sorry for all the PG people here, but they gave us condoms and stuff and all of those things in these bags because it was normal for athletes at the, like, Central American Games, Pan American Games, World Cups, and even Olympics, where they would go out and do things with each other. If you get the flow of things.
They like to party.
Yeah, they like to party a lot.
They're very friendly.
And yeah, then you find out, I don't know if it was the London Olympics or if it was the Rio Olympics, but there was actually a breakout of a couple of STDs that had passed around through the athletes. And it's like, well, why do you find that surprising? Why? You were literally given something, and yet...
This is why education is important, because people are going to do this no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's not enough to say, like, I don't want you to do this, therefore you shouldn't do it. You can't control anyone. Yeah. So the best thing you can do is just to educate.
Yeah, and protect yourself. And that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, with this whole COVID situation, for me moving forward, it's same thing. It's just having common sense. Like, don't be dumb about it. Yeah. And then, like, just take the precautions that you need. Do what you feel comfortable with, and try and create, your own set limits of what you think is acceptable and what you think is not acceptable.
And be real with yourself, because just because the CDC has guidelines that every state has to follow, and just because you guys have really strict laws regarding it, like for us, we have very, very strict restrictions. You have to have a mask on at all times. Some people still wear it like this. Some people still wear it like this. Am I going to stand next to somebody that has a chin strap as a mask? No. So
bad.
you just have to be smart about it. And you need to understand that nothing can protect you the same way that you can protect you and you can protect your family.
Yeah, honestly,
That's our new normal.
Yeah, I think, honestly, that's our new normal. But I don't even think that's new, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, that was my gist of it. I don't think for us it's new. Because this is how we've always been.
I think our new normal is so, like, we're becoming a little less, like, open and touchy-feely and just, like, hugs and kisses and whatever.
Actually,
you know what?
That's similar. Yeah, actually, that's a fair point. I guess that's something that is different because I don't hug and kiss quite yet. Yeah, because like I said, in Spanish families, that is the norm to hug and kiss. And then, I realized that, I haven't been doing that. Even with friends, I no longer hug and kiss on the cheek anymore. Now, like, when Kelly and I see each other, we're like, hey. Or, like, we do, like, the awkward, like, hey.
Like, you think that's awkward?
No, I love it.
I'm awkward.
No, it's like, because we did it earlier today, actually. We were outside in the parking lot. And we were like,
it's kind of awkward.
When we saw each other, like,
I was just throwing out my garbage, and I just threw out my garbage like, hey.
Yeah, but she literally just. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the extent of what we do. And granted, we did just hug several times just now, but
we've been sharing drinks and utensils, so. Guys.
Yeah.
Only share with your family. Okay, we are family, so we can do this. Understand.
I feel like this is bad because I feel like in this video we are kind of hypocritical. Because we're like, don't share drinks, don't do this, and yet we share with each other.
But you can if it's your family.
Yeah, and honestly, we've known each other for a very long time.
So you can't judge us. You cannot judge us. We are a judgment for your sisters. And you know what's interesting with the new normal too? Dating, actually. You would know this. I mean, I'm not trying to be aggressive with this because it sounded really aggressive, but it's not like you would know this. But you wouldn't know this because you've been in a relationship for 7-8 years. 8 years, right?
7,
sorry.
Yeah.
So she never had to. So she never had to have that like uncertainty and that fear of being single in lockdown.
Are you kidding me? I loved being single.
You would 100% not love it during COVID-19. Amy Bach. I swear to God.
Yeah, no, I don't know because I've been perfectly fine because I was competing for so many years that I actually, unfortunately and fortunately, James is my first and last, hopefully, boyfriend. I wouldn't know about the whole dating scene because I was single for a long time. I was so focused on sports that I was just like, nope, I want to stay focused on sports. I know my goals. I don't want to get distracted. And I literally had flat out told, I had crushes on people, but I flat out told people, like the guys that liked me, I'm like, I don't want anything more because I'm focused, I'm goal-oriented, and you would distract me. And that was pretty blunt.
You are not it for me.
There were, like, a lot of the people that did, even the crushes that I had, I was like, oh, I really want to like go on a date with you, but at the same time, I'm like, I
want to go on a date with me more.
Yeah, like I need to stay focused. Like I need to do well in sports, and because like I've seen all too many times when I saw how relationships affected sports, and how the athletes would get distracted, and I was like,
Amy was a real athlete. She didn't take any of that like nonsense. She was very straightforward, no nonsense, and she did not allow herself to get distracted because she knew where her goals are. Ladies, take notes. You gotta be dating yourself before you date anyone. And sometimes when you're goal oriented, there's no room for like a random dude.
Yeah, there really was no nonsense
and it's okay.
in my life. There really wasn't. Like there was definitely plenty of opportunities where I could have gone out and like had fun and done all these things. And I did have fun. It's not like I had a boring life. I think when I was younger, I had fun, but I didn't go out drinking. I didn't go out clubbing. I didn't do any of those things. And it actually wasn't until I think I was like 20, 21 when I had my first full drink of alcohol. And it was one glass, I think. Oh, that's right. It was a Smirnoff. I know.
I'm sorry, that was your first drink.
My very first drink, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so for me, I wouldn't know the dating scene right now for COVID. Like, I wouldn't know how that is.
Do you think that in this situation where you're no longer a full-time athlete and you no longer had like all of these huge obligations, do you think you might feel differently if you didn't have a partner
So you're
during
saying,
this time.
So you're saying if I was single right now, and given the fact that I do have all this time, like how would COVID affect me?
Yeah. I mean, we love James.
Well,
But-
like, actually, I wouldn't know. Like, no, because I know this is like hypothetical and this is for the audience. Okay, so I'm actually unsure right now because I've always been the type of person where I constantly traveled. I was constantly traveling, so I'm used to the fact that I'm not with someone. Like there were times when I literally did not see my family for an entire year, sometimes even longer, and it was the norm. And it was fine for me. I was good. Like, I missed my family, but thank God for technology. I was able to video, like, Skype them, or now they come out with Duo, and now there's FaceTime. There's so many, all these apps.
Also, you can text them memes.
Yeah, I know, right? Connected. The only time I ever felt, like, disconnected, but not really, was when I traveled to another country, and I didn't have any phone service at all. But it worked out because then I would meet people from other countries and I'd become friends with them, or I'd see old people that I've seen. I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you since like the last competition.
Yeah, so you always had that. You always had that community and you always have a connection. No matter where you are in this world. And that's so important.
And that's what I'm saying. So right now, even despite COVID happening, I don't see COVID as a big impact personally. Because if I were to start dating, then I would feel fine. I would just want to get to know the person. We could always do video calls. And if we meet each other, then, you know, we can decide what our limits are and what we feel comfortable with. Just letting you guys know out there that I would never, ever go on a date alone right now in public. Like, I would want to go on public, not because I don't know that person. I'm sorry. I don't know you.
Netflix and chill. Get out of my sight.
Yeah.
Okay? Get out of my sight. If you suggest that, well, I mean, I don't have to worry about this anymore, but I can't believe the audacity of some people saying like, I don't do dinner dates. I don't do that. Like, okay, then what do you do? Then I'm not gonna hang around. People are so weird now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but y'all can do what you want. Like, I'm not looking down on people that like are like the hit it and quit it type. I don't look down on that. That's your own business. You go do your own thing. Yeah, one life, go live it. That's fine. God still loves you. At the end of the day,
I'm looking down on the fact that they disguise it as something else. Yeah. That they're not upfront about it. They're like, oh, I wanna be your boyfriend, but I also want you to drive to where I am and to like hang out at a bar 2 steps away from my apartment. Like, no.
Oh, you're saying that your person, that's a whole different topic. Actually, we can talk about that.
That's like, true,
that's a whole different conversation.
But yeah, COVID dating is so strange too, because now you don't even have that layer of seeing them face to face. You have to see them on Zoom. You have to like see them, you have to just like text them, and you don't know when is a good time, because this has never happened before. So you don't know when it is a good time that you can actually meet them face to face and essentially break social distance by going on a date. That's an extra layer of paranoia. Like, dude, what if you're sick?
Yeah, like, you don't know. Yeah, and this person could be lying to you. But then again, like I said, even before COVID happened, and if someone was sick, like, you just got to be smart about it. Like, and if someone did meet up with you when they were sick, even before COVID, like, if they like were sick and they were like, hey, I'm gonna meet you anyways. First of all, they probably looked the worst because they're sick. Secondly, that's a dumb thing to do, because then you just put someone else at risk. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, no.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
how would you go out when you're sick anyways? Like I said, I've gone to work with a cold, but not even like, if I felt sick enough to the point where like something could happen, like my butt's staying home. But then there are times
some guys are pretty desperate.
I have sniffle, like, I'm good.
No, some of these guys are pretty desperate. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, sorry, we could talk about this in another video, but I'm definitely against this whole culture of like, hey, y'all can see each other, hit it and quit it, do all these things. Like, I'm not looking down on it, but that's not my life. Like,
can't relate.
Yeah, honestly, I can't. Like, people nowadays, I hear too often people cheating on each other and stuff like that. And sadly, that's what happened during COVID. We've heard of people that were. It's like, no, like, I'm totally against that.
What's funny are the amount of people that no longer speak to you. And the people like that kind of ghost after a while because they can't see you face to face, right? But then also the people that want to like kind of slide back into your life because they're bored at home, and then they're like, let me just slide back in. I'm like, no, you can just slide right back out.
That's such a low life thing to do. Like, like suddenly you let your emotions get to you and you're lonely, and then you message someone and then
Yeah.
you're like, hey, like, can you be with me because I'm lonely?
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
it's
how
not
selfish
genuine.
of you.
Yeah.
That's very, very selfish. And like, especially right now, that's what I'm saying. Like, we've heard of scenarios right now where it goes both ways. We've heard, like,
100%.
during COVID, during this time, we've heard of like outside friends, like where people have been cheated on, or people that have been ghosted, and they're like, oh, like, I'm sorry, I can't see you because of COVID. Everything's because of COVID. Like, everything's an excuse now because of COVID. And it's like, stop playing around. Like, the reason why you don't want to see this person is because you don't like them that way, or they have that mentality of, I hit it and I'm leaving. And it's like, you know what? Even before COVID, at the end of the day, you were not a good person.
If not this excuse, it would just be another excuse. So
yeah,
it's the same result.
So for all y'all watching, using COVID as an excuse, you know who you are.
Use a different excuse. Just be like, my grandma died. Just don't say something like, oh, my grandma died of COVID. Just do the normal excuse.
What am I, a professor?
Do a normal excuse.
A professor's like, it's like,
yeah,
oh, your
don't
grandmother
use
died.
COVID as the excuse. Please be sensitive. This is a very serious thing at the end of the day. Use something else that you would normally use as an excuse.
Yeah, that's
or just be like,
sad.
hey, I don't want to see you anymore because I don't like you. You're boring. You suck. Bye.
I saw this one.
No, but if you do that, you're gonna get stalked just like me.
I heard this one Twitter post where this I don't know if it was a girl, boy, I don't even know. It's just someone had posted on Twitter saying that their professor had said, okay, like, I'm so glad to see you guys as my new students. Let's see how many grandmothers die this year.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's gonna change into, let's see how many people quarantine up this year.
Yeah, like, holy cow. Holy cow.
Oh god. Oh
yeah, I wonder
goodness.
what excuses professors are getting nowadays. I'm genuinely curious about that. Because college is a long way behind us.
I feel bad for all the people that didn't get to have their prom. I mean, we didn't really care about that kind of stuff in hindsight. Didn't. But at the time, though, it's different.
Yeah,
it's something,
it was different.
Yeah, at the time, you're super excited about it. You got to see your friends for maybe the last time in a formal setting. And then you miss your graduation. Some people may not even get to see any of their friends again because that was the semester that they were supposed to graduate. And they missed out that graduation, lost out on that prom, senior trip, whatever.
That is very true.
And it seems like nothing to us, but again, like the vacations, it's a lot for some people. Everyone has a different experience. And a lot of people lost a lot.
I don't know how it is for kids nowadays. I really don't understand. Like, I can't even imagine to begin, because for us, I feel like we had it really, really hard when we were in high school. Like, I don't know. I knew it was hard for you because you were trying to get into Parsons and.
Oh no, I got in super easy.
Oh
sorry.
Really? Oh
sorry.
No, for me, like, I was busting my chops that year. Like,
no, but everything else was hard, Amy. Everything else, it wasn't the college part. It was everything else. It was the other classes. I barely graduated high school. Yeah. Getting into college was surprisingly no effort. But everything else, graduating high school, though, that was a different story. Yeah. That was so hard.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how it is nowadays, because I know that where we are, like our township, they actually changed it so it's actually easier. Like, now they actually have set limits on what homework they can give out to students and stuff, and it's crazy. So I don't know how it is nowadays. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I also know that kids nowadays have a whole different stress factor, and that is through social media. Like, everything these poor kids do is on social media. And so right now, like, yeah, I can understand that with COVID, for them, it's a whole different experience losing out on all those senior things.
All those senior
all the senior
events,
activities,
the trips.
Because, like, for them,
it's not a little thing. It's
everything's
a big deal.
online.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah. But you know what? Let's end on a good note. My favorite social distance date that I heard of during quarantine, because I actually had a lot of stories. Well, not my own, but I had a lot of different stories. Some horror stories, some really good ones. And one of my favorite stories was when one of my best friends, she and this guy went on a picnic in the park, and it was social distance, like 6 feet apart. And when you play cards, you're kind of like this.
Yeah.
And then they were bringing individually packaged snacks so that they can just, like, be social distanced and then, like, and still have their date. And it was super romantic, super cute. And it doesn't cost a lot of money. 10 out of 10 would recommend to a friend.
I think you're a rapper. You just rhymed.
I'm a SoundCloud rapper, guys. I'm gonna open a SoundCloud account.
Oh, I wish we could give the audience our text messages. The rapping text. Oh gosh, that's a whole different. Yeah, I know this is totally random. We texted like probably it was like a week or two ago, and one of our friends was like, "Quick, like like teach me how to rap or something." I don't know. I had something to rap. And so I put out this one rap verse, and then all of a sudden someone else put out a rap verse, and like we all just kept like rapping to each other, and then we just kept sending each other memes like, "I'm not a rapper." Like it was the stupidest thing, but it worked out so well, and it was so unplanned. Like I was just like not even okay. I just rapped.
Amy's a fun texter. Amy really is a fun texter.
I am fun texting. I definitely. I'm horrible at texting. I'll admit. I'll see your text message later.
you're like in bed reading the message, you're like,
nah, later. I'll do it later. But when I do text, I'm a funny chick.
It's fire.
Yeah,
it's fire.
Because I send some real dumb things. Did you want some, by the way? I feel so bad. I've been pouring myself.
Oh, I'm okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Amy. So I guess
we are done.
Yeah. So
I know. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. I don't know whatever you got out of that. We said a lot just now, but whatever you got out of that, I hope you enjoyed our conversations about COVID.
And I think it's important to have this kind of conversation, whether it's with yourself or with your family. It's very important to just let it out. Anything that you might have been venting, anything that you think you struggled with, but you don't think anyone else can relate. It's important to just vent it. Some people lost a little, some people lost a lot, but everybody has each other, and all of our struggles are still valid.
Yes, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, we have each other. Anyways,
social
on that
distance.
note, yeah, social distance.
But we still have each other.
I'm like, should we make a heart or something? Like, I don't even know how to do that. I can't. I need a mirror or something.
Oh, God.
Anyways, love you guys, and we'll definitely see you another time in our next video. Thank you for joining us at Tea and Talking. Definitely leave a comment. Tell us what your experiences were like during COVID, even if it's funny stories, and especially the dating COVID. I want to know that. Like, I'm not one for gossip and drama, but I want to hear those funny stories. Anything to make me laugh. I like smiling. Okay, anyways. All right, thanks for joining us. Bye now.
Bye.